What's up everybody, welcome back. So today we are going to be repairing my lip on the GSX. Unfortunately, I was at the drive-thru and I was going out and there was a little bit of a steep bump. Well, I decided maybe I can maneuver through it, and all I heard was a lot of crunch. So with that being said, I'm gonna show you how I do it, and the outcome is actually pretty good. So let's get on the road, let's hit the store. I'm gonna go to Lowe's, so let's get to it.
Okay, sorry. You need the pets before I can leave? Okay, sorry. Yes, here's your pets. Okay, I gotta go. Ow.
Bye. Love you. Such a nice day. We're finally getting into spring, and I am so excited. Okay, show you the damage. Right there. So I'm gonna try to get it as good as I can. It is warming up. How you doing, beautiful? But this one will actually be rather difficult, but I'm gonna do my best. Okay, we just got to Lowe's. I'm gonna show you what you guys need here in just a minute.
Thank you for using.
And we are back. So what you're gonna need is a plastic bonder. I like this. It does seep into like the scratch marks that you'll make when you sand it. We'll get into that. So I do like this. You can use regular JB Weld. I just prefer the plastic bonder. It works really well with that specific plastic that they use for lips and side skirts and stuff. Wall repair patch, sandpaper, which I bought the kit. It goes $220 and then $400. It's assorted in here, so I like that. It's only $5. Some plastic spring clamps just to hold it. Some paint after. I do like the matte finish custom shop from Rust-Oleum. It just leaves that matte finish like nothing ever happened, so I do prefer that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now we have the lip off. Now here comes the fun part of repairing it. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay it flat, kind of, and I'm gonna grab a clamp. I'm gonna try to pinch it right here. What you need to do is you need to pinch it close to where it still lines up, to where there's not like a huge gap, like that. So mine was doing that before. Just clamp it down like that, make it somewhat flush. So I got one clamp on right here. Pretty flush, not too bad. Then I'm just gonna flip it over, because this is where we're gonna be working on first. And once it's flipped over, go ahead and start sanding right here on the edges and kind of on that seam right there, the crack itself. You're gonna wanna sand right here. That way, whatever epoxy you use, it's gonna bite into those sanding marks and those scratches, and it's gonna fill, and it's gonna be way stronger. Okay guys, so we got it pretty much all the way sanded down. You're gonna want at least maybe half an inch away from the crack itself. That way it still has a bond outside of the crack. That way it can etch itself and bond on the plastic over here as well, just for more strength and durability. And of course, same for the other side. So you're gonna wanna do both, and we are gonna sand it again. That way when we paint it, the paint can actually stick to the lip again as well. Otherwise, it's just gonna not turn out so good. I have my clamp on. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some alcohol, clean this area. I'm gonna work underneath first. We're gonna use our drywall patch underneath. That way it gives it more strength and durability. And you're not gonna see it underneath, of course, so don't be too cautious. Put a lot of whatever epoxy you're using under here, because this is what's really going to strengthen it up. So again, after you get it sanded, go ahead and take some alcohol or whatever cleaner, as long as it evaporates quickly, and just give it a good old wipe. We do not want any dust. Once you have it cleaned and it is dried off, go go ahead and cut out a piece of the drywall patch and just set it on there. Once your patch is on there, go ahead and start mixing your epoxy, and then you're just gonna layer it over that patch. Make sure that it seeps inside the holes and it etches onto the plastic itself. The main thing that you need to do is when you go to scrape, make sure that you're pushing down, that way it pushes into the holes and it etches itself into the plastic as well. You just don't want to coat the top layer of the metal patch, because then it's not going to do anything. You need to push all the way through and you should see a little bit of that grating. Alright, after that's done, let's go ahead and wait about 15 to 20 minutes. You can speed it up. I have the hair dryer here. And just put it on a medium heat setting and just go for about 5 to 10 minutes. Make sure it's tacky. Once it's tacky, then we can move to the other side, start repairing that side. So after about 25 minutes, I would say, of it drying, it's finally dried up now. So you can see it's all lathered up. You can do the extra mile stuff and sand it down flush. We should be good if perfect. Okay, so clamp is off. We're still golden here. And same thing for this side. However, we're not going to use the patch, of course, because you will see this. So do as much as you can to fill in this crack and put a thinnish layer. You can go a little bit thick. I'll show you what mine will look like. Right here I'll probably go a little bit thicker because we are going to sand it down anyways, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. Something that I want to show you guys when you're doing this side of things. So you want to get it as flat as possible, but while still maintaining enough. The more flat it is, the easier it will be to sand and get it flat. If it is bumpy and wavy, don't worry, sand it out. It's just going to take a little bit more time, but I'm going to try to smooth mine out before it gets too tacky. And I'm just going to work the sides. Sorry, my furnace is running. But I'm just going to work the sides. Try to stay away from the crack because we'll sand it, like I said 100 times already. Sorry, but just want to stay away from the crack. Don't do drugs, kids. I don't know if you guys caught it in the last clip, but I went a little bit too much scraping the excess off and you could start seeing the crack again. You don't want that. So I just ran another bead. It's a little bit high, but I think we should be able to get it flush. You guys are gonna want to let this dry as much as possible. Whatever your epoxy says, cure time, set time, however long it takes, do that plus some. I would add like an extra 30 minutes because the climate might be different. It might be cold outside. Like here, it's still a little bit chilly. So definitely give it time because we are gonna sand this down and you do not wanna mess this one up. My epoxy has dried. And right now I'm gonna sand this first, and then remember we're gonna sand the whole thing. I'm doing 220, so sand the whole thing, that way the paint has something to bite onto and it's gonna cure a lot better and it's gonna last a lot longer. Basically got it all flat. As you can see, there's no more of the black spots that you can see when you're sanding. You'll still see your highs and lows. Make sure that's one solid gray color.
One eternity later.
You're gonna want to sand that really good. You don't want any shiny spots. If you see a shiny spot, it hasn't been sanded and you risk the paint peeling up and off. So make sure it's sanded really well. Actually moved spots. It was actually too windy and grass was coming up on it. So I'm just gonna use a cardboard box and spray paint right here. Everybody, here's the final result. Let's go like this. no more crack. As you can see, if you get a little bit close, that's what I was talking about. I sanded it too much so you can see a little bit. Like I said, I'm definitely happy with the outcome. It looks really good. Just a little tiny scratch, but honestly, it's not going to bother me at least. Next up, I do have a part coming in for the GSX. Should be a video next week on it, and I'm super stoked for it because I definitely need one. So stay tuned for that one. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.